Hello and welcome to this complete Java tutorial series from Mascot Tech. In this video, we will learn about operators in Java. Let's get started. Operators are the building blocks of any programming, whether it's Java or any other programming language such as C++ or C or Python. Operators are really critical in programming because we have to do comparisons, we have to do some calculations, and all of these require different types of operators, and we will learn about the different operators in Java in this video. So the first type of operator is called an assignment operator. So the assignment operators, the main assignment operator is, as you can see on the screen, the equal to sign. That is the main one. But sometimes we could do some incrementing of data and assign that to a variable. In that case, we will say plus equals. Or if we want to subtract something, we could use minus equals. These are actually shortcuts. I will show you when we go into the actual coding. And these are the assignment operators. The second types of operators are mathematical operators that you learned in math, in your math class. So as you know, the mathematical operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. And these are the mathematical operators. And as you can see in here, this star is used as a multiplication operator. In math, we use an X, but in programming, we use a star to do multiplication. Slash is for division, and this percentage sign is for modulus operator. The third operator is a logical operator. Logical operators, the most commonly used logical operators are AND and OR operators. This double ampersand is the AND operator, and this double bar or these two lines, these two bars, they represent logical OR. The next operators are relational operators. What are relational operators? These are comparison operators. When we say something is less than another thing, or that thing is greater than this thing, or is less than or equal to this, or greater than or equal to this. These are relational operators. And the next one is equality operator. So this one, we use this to check if something is equal to another thing, or if it does not equal to another thing. So this double equal is the equality operator, and this exclamation mark equals, this means it does not equal. Like A does not equal to B. If I want to say that, I will say A exclamation mark equal B. And these are equality operators. The other one is called a ternary operator. A ternary operator is if we have like two different options. It's difficult to explain this without an example, but we have some condition, and if that condition becomes something, if that condition is true, we want to do something. If that condition is false, we want to do another thing. So whatever the condition will be before the question mark, and if the condition is true, the value that we want will be between the question mark and the colon operator. And then if it's false, we put that after the colon operator. The other operators are increment or decrement operator. Sometimes we wanna increment our variables, and to increment our variables, we could say plus plus. This is actually a shortcut. Let's say I have a variable called a, and it has a value of 1, and if I want to increment that to a 2, I could say a equals a plus 1, or shortcut is I could say a plus plus, and then when I say a plus plus, that increments is a shortcut. Instead of saying like a equals a plus 1, instead of saying that, I could say a plus plus. Or if I want to reduce or decrease the value of a variable, I could say minus minus. It's the only difference between these two is this one is to increase the value, and the second one is to decrease the value. The last type is a casting operator. Casting operator is sometimes we might need to change our variable type to a different type. Say if our variable was initially if it was an int, and if I want to change that into a short, I have to use casting operator. And the way we do that is we do parentheses like this, and we put the new type that we want to convert or cast into. So I would say like parentheses short and give the value. And let's see these in action. If you have been watching some of my videos, this is a simple program that I did last time to teach about data types, and let's just use the same thing to do operators also. If you want, you can. If you don't have this, you can create a new project. The way you do it is if you have Eclipse installed already, you just go to File, New, Java project, and then give it a name. Give it a project name in here, and then you just say finish, and then you'll create your class and things like that. If you don't know how to do this, please watch my video. I will put the link right here, and you can pause this video and watch that one before proceeding. Okay, now I will assume you have your environment set up, and let's do today's tutorial. So the first one I told you in this PowerPoint presentation is assignment operator, equals operator, and as you can see, we are using this equals operator, this assignment operator. As you can see, I said byte b equals 1. So this is an assignment operator. What it does is it gives the value 1 to my variable b, which has a byte data type. And the second one says short s equals 300. So what does this mean? I have a short variable called s, and I'm giving it or assigning a value of 300 to it. And the third one says int I equals 10,000. This one, what this says is I have an int variable called I, and give it a value of 10,000, or assign a 10,000 value to my int I variable. Okay, and last one also the same thing. So this is it. And to see some of the other these operators, let's say I have byte b equals 1, right? So I can say b plus equals 1, and remember you have to put a semicolon at the end. So what this one says is please increment b by 1 and save that value in b. So that's what this one says. So to see the result, let's print the value of b in here, and then we'll put down there also. The way to print it is, as you can see, it says system print system.out. It says system.out.print println and b. All right, this is how we print. And now let me print after the assignment. System.out.println b. Okay, and now let's run and see. So this must print 1, this must print 2, right? So what this one says is b, please assign a value of, please increment b by 1 and assign that value to b. So that's what this one says. Or in other words, this one is equal to, let me put it as a comment. We can say this like b equals b plus 1. So we can do this, b equals b plus 1, or short form is b plus equals 1. So this makes our code shorter. We can do this, and let's save our file and run and see. This should print 1, this should print 2. If not, we made something wrong. Okay, looks good. As you can see, the first one says 1, second one says 2. Or I can put something to make it clear. It says 1, 2. We don't really know what it is, right? So let's put some label in it. So to do that, we put them in double quotes, and I'll say before incrementing I'll say space, and after that I'll say plus b. So this plus in this case is a concatenation operator, because the first one is a string, and if you put a plus after a string, it will concatenate the two things, the thing before a plus and the one after the plus sign. So this is this, and in here also let me say after incrementing and say plus. Let's save project and run. Yeah, as you can see, it says before incrementing it's 1, after incrementing 2. Okay, now let's see the other. We tried the plus equals. Now let's try minus equals and maybe times equals. A few of these. This time let's do it in here for int. Let's say I minus equals 200, and let's say, let's copy this. Let's change this to I. Let's save and run. This is from the first one. These two are from the first one. and these two are the ones that I did now. So before, well, this is decrementing. I said incrementing, but I need to change that. So before incrementing, it was 10,000. After incrementing or after decrementing, it's 9,800 because I subtracted 200 out of 10,000. Okay, so it doesn't have to be like 1 in here. I did 1 in here, right? So you can do 1,000 or maybe 100, or you can put any number in this case. So what it does is it will subtract, if it's a minus, it will subtract the amount and store it in the same variable. So that's what it's doing. If I say, if I change this to times 200, maybe we might run into, I don't know, maybe let's save and run, because int has some limitations of size. Maybe if we multiply by 200 it might be too big, but let's save and try and see. All right, looks like we are still in good shape, so we did not run into an error. I think it's about 32 million. We have about, for int, it has a capacity of about 32 million, I believe, if I remember right. So what it did, it multiplied 10,000 by 200 and it gave us this result. So these are the assignment operators. I hope this is clear. So let's move on to the other types of operators. So the second one is mathematical operators, right? So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo. We use them in here like indirectly, but let's use them directly. Okay. Okay. Now let's. I prefer to use int for these calculations, so I'll continue using this. But let me comment this one out. Remember, this two slashes, they make our code a comment. What is a comment? It makes it unreadable to a computer. I mean, not unreadable, but it does not use it to do some instructions. It's for the humans to read, okay? All right, so let us add int, let's say int number equals I plus, yes, let's say this. So what did I say in here? I said int number, so this is the data type of my variable. Number is my variable name. Then I said is equal to sign, or it is assignment operator, right? We talked about it. So I'm saying create a variable, an int variable called number, and assign the value, the sum of I and S, the sum of 10,000 and 300. And if I say, let me comment this one out too, system.out.println, let me say number will be number. So now I wanna show like number colon and the value of that number. So let's do that. So let me make my screen, my font bigger. Sorry, it was too small. Okay, now let's save and run. Let me comment these out too, because I want to see. I want to see this one on top of my screen. Let's say save and run. As you can see, number colon 10,300. So this is addition. Now let's change it to subtraction. Just change this to a minus. Save it and run. Number is 9,700. If I want to say, if I want to multiply these two, I will say star and save it and run. Number is 300,000. So we multiplied the two. And now let's divide I by S. This is division. Save it and run. Number is 33. Because this, I said this one is int, so it just ignores the decimal points and just puts the integer part in here as 33. But if I want the real number, so I need to change this to a double or float. So you can say this double number, and then we'll see the exact division result. Because these are ints, it is not converting it to an int. Let me change this to double, which takes us to the next type of operator, the casting operator. So now let's save this one and run it. I hope now this gives us the exact number. Yeah. Now we have the exact number of our division. So 33.333, blah, blah, blah. This is the number when we divide. So casting operator, I have it at the bottom, and here you see the casting operator, right? So that is how we use the casting operator, because we are dividing int by a short, like all of them are. A short is a type of an int, a small int. So it will create an integer value. So we need to cast that to double to get the exact decimal points, or the approximate decimal points for that. Next is modulo. Now let's change this to modulo, and don't need this one now. Let's get rid of this. Now I can just say, what is a modulo? It's it gives you the remainder of dividing the first number by the second number. So that's what modulus is. Save, hit save, and run it. Yeah, so when we divide 10,000 by 300, the remainder is 100. Okay, next one. Let's move on. Logical operators and or. Okay. We had some Boolean operator. You see here, down here, Boolean BL true. And let me create another Boolean also. BL2 is equal to false. So now let's say system.out println Boolean value. Let me just say Boolean value colon space plus let me create another variable, Boolean BL3 equals BL and BL2. let me say BL3 here. I have a typo here. It's println. Let me comment this one out. I don't want to see this now. So what did I do here? I created two Boolean variables. So Boolean BL2, and I set this one to false. This one BL is true, this one is false. And I am saying BL3 equals BL and BL2. So what this is if you remember your logic class or course, true and false will be false. So if you're using AND operator, both the two operands must be true to be for the result to be true, right? So now this one will print out false. So let's save this and run it. Yeah, these are from before. I can also remove this. So Boolean value, it says false. But if I change this one to OR, logical OR, save this and run it, it will return true. It says Boolean value true. Why? OR becomes true when one of the operands is true. If either this one or this one is true, then the result is true in the case of OR. But for AND, both must be true for our result to be true. So this is about logical operators. And the other ones are relational operators. So we are doing comparisons. For that, okay, let me come back. Let me come back here. Let me call it int result equals, now this should be Boolean result equals s is less than I. Now let's display this. System.out.println, put something in here, logical. Let me just call it logical value, then say plus result. Okay, so what this one says is result equals s is less than I. So this will be either true or false, right? So let's save this and run it. As you can see, it says Boolean value true. So what logical, sorry, so this is from before. Logical value, we said logical value in here, right? Logical value true. Why? Because S300 is less than 10,000. If I say is greater than, let's save this and run it. I said Boolean result equals s is greater than I, and then when we ran this, we got the value of false because S300 is not greater than 10,000. So I can also say like greater than greater than or equal to, save and run. This is also false. Or I can say less than or equal to, save and run. This should return true because it's less than or equal to, right? So these are the logical operators. This video is getting longer, so let's stop here and we will continue in another video. And I hope this video was helpful. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any videos that I release. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section and I will respond to your comments or questions as soon as possible. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.